Hi, I have read more than 200 plus books, but there are some books I don't know why they are exit and why people are so mad for these books because when I try to read them, I don't find any kind of thrill I was looking for in these books just because these books are so popular and everyone was recommending them. The first book is Once Upon a Broken Heart. I don't know why this book is so popular because fantasy is not my genre, and when I tried to read this book, I found this book so boring, so cringeworthy because the character in these books are looking so dilute to me. My brain can't figure out why these books is so popular. Even every book girly is recommending this book just because the boy in this book is a green flag, a prince charming. Literally, this book comes in a series. I was thanking myself that I don't buy two more books. Second book is Verity. By the way, by the title, this book is a thriller book. But when I try to read this book, because every third book Instagrammer are recommending this book, and more than a thriller book to me, it sounds to me a dark romance book because this book is full of 18 plus content, which I didn't like it much because it was too much. But if I talk about thriller and twist, that was so good in this book. I can really appreciate the author for this book. Next book is The Normal People. I don't know, but I found this book so boring, so dull that I have to leave this book in the mid. And I'm not saying that I just try to read this book once. I try many times to complete this book. But every time I try to read this book, I found this so boring. Even I try to check the all the reviews of this book is mixed. Most of the people who love fast reading book found this book so boring, and even some people are recommending why this book exit is so boring. You must not read this book if you like fast reading books and thriller kind of books. And next book is The Wuthering Height. I don't know I'm pronouncing right or wrong, but literally I found this book so cringeworthy. Even the vocabulary in this book is so hard. I try to read this book two or three times, but I unable to understand exactly what is happening in this book. Because every time I try to read, I need to find out the 10 to 15 new words. I have to open the Google, then I search the meaning of that word, then again I start reading, which is so difficult for me because it's a classic novel, and you know all that how classic novels are written. And even the story development of this book is so out of the box, so that's why I gifted this book to someone else so I don't have to read this book again. And next book is the most popular, widely popular book, Rich Dad and Poor Dad. I read this book when I was in 11th class, and after that I tried to read this book two or three times, but literally the information written in this book is so different for the person who's just starting his or her journey, because the money tricks and the investment trick are given in these books are for the people who are already belong to a different class, like the people like who are just starting their career can't unable to follow these advice. And really I suggest you, if you really wanted to read a good books on money, I have read a lot of books on money because information in this book is so vague, you can't match the information with your reality. And next book is The Ima. I think this is also a classic novel, and I don't know what the problem I have with classic novel. First, the classic novels are very difficult to read and they are not for everyone. I can understand that, but most of the story of this part is revolved around a one woman who think that she is the top of the world, she is the real queen, and which I found so eccentric. Really, this book pissed me off. So I have to left this book in mid, and I never try to read this book again. Next book is How to Kill Your Family. And I can guarantee this book is popular just because of the title of this book, not because of the story. Because story of this book is so boring, so cringe-worthy, and this book pissed me off. Story of this book is so repetitive that she tried to kill her each family member just because her family member didn't treat her mother in the right way. Not just me, so many people are complaining about this book because this book is so boring. I don't think so this book can be a favorite book of any person. And the next book is The Tenant by Freda MC Ferdinand. I don't know why this book exit, because I am a big fan of Freda MC Ferdinand, and if I'm a big fan of Freda MC Ferdinand, I accept her to write the thriller book in the way I can't predict the main culprit in the book. But in this book, you can easily find the main victim in this book, and which is so disappointing and so heartbreaking for us, and that's why I didn't like this. Please tell me in the comment section among these books how many books you already read or how many books you are planning to read.